Stand before the people you fear and speak your mind even if your voice shakes. Maggie Kuhn. Emma Goldman, a woman born in 1885, was one of those women. She did a lot of things with her life, traveling around the country and speaking about her beliefs. She said, "I want freedom, the right to self-expression, everybody's rights to beautiful, radiant things." She dedicated her life to the creation of a radically new social order, convinced that the political, economic organization of society was fundamentally unjust. She embraced anarchism for the vision it offered of liberty, harmony, and true social justice. For decades, she struggled against widespread inequality, repression, and exploitation. Jewish Women Archive. She was born in 1869, and in 1885, she immigrated to America. Once she immigrated to America, she began to see how unjust things were in the world. One of the things that really got her started in her journey into anarchism was the Haymarket execution. There was a bunch of laborers that were protesting for their rights, and it ended up being quite the slaughter. So in 1889, she left her family and her husband, and she embarked on a journey to start standing up for the things that she believed in. She ended up falling into a German anarchist movement where she met Berkman. They were protesting the World War I enlistment, which ended up getting them arrested. She was so dedicated to this man that when he tried to commit murder of another man who was in charge of some of the labor boards, she ended up becoming an accessory, was imprisoned a few years for that. Goldman embarked on a career of public speaking, quickly rising to national attention through her relentless country lecture tours. So while Berkman was in prison for trying to commit murder, Goldman was actually traveling around the world with her lectures and trying to get people's attention about the horrible things that was going on. Her intention was to reach a varied audience through reason and emotion, always offering hope. She spoke on a plethora of different things. It wasn't just one thing. She stood up for love and sexuality, including homosexuality, even though it stood against her fellow anarchist beliefs. She didn't let them get her down. She fought against different sorts of politics. She liked to make quips about the police in the beginnings of her speeches. She stood up for women's rights and even thought that marriage was a form of prostitution, that it was taking away women's rights, and that women were just trading themselves in to be childbearers and just gain more social standing. She was a pioneering woman, a pioneering advocate of women's rights, workers' rights, and sexual freedom. She helped shape American society. Even though she ended up getting banned from the United States, later on she ended up having a stroke in Canada, and later on her body was able to be readmitted into the United States, where she was able to be buried by the Haymarket people, martyrs, that was the reason she stood up and started her speaking. She leaves behind books she has written and co-authored. She also had her own magazine called Mother Earth, and she held hands with Margaret, a writer of another magazine called Rebel Women, and she wrote some articles in that. So I would say that she was a great pioneering woman who did a lot of things for America's new society. And I think today she still inspires and helps other people to believe and stand up for their rights.